never thought I'd find myself telling this story. It's one of those tales that makes your skin crawl, sends shivers down your spine, and leaves you questioning everything you thought you knew about the world. But here I am, sitting alone in the dim glow of my computer screen, fingers trembling as I type out these words. It all started innocently enough, just a move to a new house, a fresh start. Little did I know, the horrors that awaited me in that old, creaky attic would haunt me forever. Moving day was chaos. Boxes piled high, sweat dripping down our faces as we lugged furniture up the narrow staircase of our new home. It was an old Victorian house, with towering ceilings and creaky floorboards that groaned with every step. Despite its age, there was a charm to it, a sense of history that drew us in. As the day wore on and the sun dipped below the horizon, we finally collapsed onto the worn couch in the living room, exhausted but excited for the new chapter ahead. Little did we know, the house held secrets far darker than we could ever imagine. It started innocently enough. A creak here, a groan there, nothing out of the ordinary for an old house like ours. But as the days turned into weeks, strange things began to happen. Objects would go missing, only to reappear in the most unlikely of places. Doors would slam shut of their own accord, and whispers echoed through the empty halls in the dead of night. At first, we brushed it off as our imaginations running wild in our new surroundings. But as the occurrences became more frequent, we couldn't ignore the feeling that something sinister lurked within the walls of our home. It was a dreary afternoon when I first ventured into the attic. Dust motes danced in the dim light that filtered through the small window, casting eerie shadows on the worn wooden floorboards below. The air was thick with the musty scent of neglect, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. As I rummaged through boxes of forgotten memories, my hand brushed against something cold and metallic, hidden beneath a tattered blanket. Curiosity piqued, I pulled back the fabric to reveal an old, ornate mirror, its surface tarnished with age. But as I gazed into its depths, I saw something that chilled me to the bone. Reflected in the glass was not my own face, but that of a shadowy figure lurking just behind my shoulder. Its eyes were dark pits of nothingness, and a malicious grin twisted its featureless face. In that moment, I knew that whatever was haunting our home was far more than just a trick of the light. From that day forward, the presence in our home grew stronger, more malevolent. Strange symbols appeared on the walls, etched in blood-red paint that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. The whispers grew louder, filling the air with a cacophony of voices that spoke of unspeakable horrors. Sleep became a distant memory as nightmares plagued my every waking moment. I could feel the shadowy figure watching me, its presence lurking just beyond the edges of my vision, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Desperate for answers, I delved into the history of our home, scouring old newspaper clippings and dusty archives for any clue to the identity of our tormentor. What I uncovered sent chills down my spine. Years ago, a family had lived in our house, a family torn apart by tragedy and madness. Legend had it that they had dabbled in dark arts, summoning forces beyond their control in a desperate bid for power. But their experiments had unleashed something far more sinister than they could have ever imagined, something that had claimed their souls and now sought to claim ours. Armed with this newfound knowledge, I confronted the entity that had plagued us for so long. With trembling hands, I stood before the ornate mirror in the attic and called out into the darkness, demanding that it leave our home and never return. For a moment, there was silence. Then, with a deafening roar, the mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces, sending shards of glass flying through the air like deadly projectiles. and in the chaos that followed, I saw it, the shadowy figure that had haunted my every waking moment, dissipate into nothingness, its malevolent presence banished from our home forever. As the dust settled and the echoes of our ordeal faded into the night, I knew that we had won. But the memory of those dark days would stay with me always, a reminder of the horrors that lurked just beyond the edges of our reality, waiting to claim unsuspecting souls in their eternal grasp. And as I sit here now, bathed in the soft glow of my computer screen, I can't help but wonder if somewhere out there, another unsuspecting soul is about to embark on their own journey into the darkness, unaware of the horrors that await them in the shadows.